What's up, YouTube? This is True Raw for TV. So, unless you're around 30 years old and older, you might not remember this. But those of us who were around remember this situation, that event, that time period. And I'm only doing this video because of the historical significance of it, because we all, especially those of us who live in the DMV area, we remember him as a fixture on television during those weeks of terror. And Charles Moose, who was the police chief of Montgomery County, Maryland, at that time when the D.C. snipers were wreaking havoc in the D.C., Northern Virginia, into Central Virginia area, he died yesterday at the age of 68. Um, he was the chief of police in Montgomery County from 1999 to 2003. I believe it was in Montgomery County where the first murders in this region occurred. Although, unbeknownst to everybody at the time, their first murders, I think, occurred in Seattle, Washington, and actually in the Deep South. That's where I think they got that, they stole a laptop, which is how they were able, if I'm not mistaken, to keep track of what was going on. But Charles Moose was pretty much a fixture on television at that entire time. And I just want to remind people of the time period. It was right after 9/11 when the quote unquote innocence of America was cracked, as far as we thinking we have this invisible wall protecting us against foreign terrorism. Then you had the situation with anthrax. People was mailing anthrax, and you had these reports that there was still going to be terrorist attacks on various cities, Boston, what have you, Los Angeles. Then the war was cranking up. The parades of war supposed to have been initially against Afghanistan, but then it magically shifted to Iraq. But we know the reasons why. Um, but then this situation happened, and the randomness of it. A lot of times when you have a serial killer or a rage killer or whatever the hell you want to term him or term them, Muhammad and get the other boys the boy's name, but when you have situations like that, usually it's like a certain specific group or they go after a particular. They were just killing people at random, and it was like you know. I just remember how it was at that time. It was killing anybody, just random people, black, white, young, old, children, old people. I remember a bus driver was killed right when he was starting his route. I think that was in Northern Virginia or Maryland. Um, a retiree. Then it got to the point where it was getting into my neck of the woods, and that's when the guy got shot at the Ponderosa Steakhouse in Ashland, and that's when everybody was like on edge, man. Like the news was telling people, hey, if you were getting gas, at the time, don't try to stand still, walk around, don't be a target. If you're at the bus stop, we was walking around. At the time, I didn't have a vehicle, so I was at the bus stop going back and forth to work, and we would not stand still. Like we were just paranoid, bro. We were just walking around, walking around. Then I remember before they were captured, it was a rumor that they were in the Richmond metro area. And then that Saturday night is when that guy got shot at the Ponderosa Steakhouse. But they were starting to get a little sloppy at the end, man. Um, one thing I do find interesting about that whole situation was the way the news sort of flip flopped when they started realizing they were black. When when the shootings first started, right? They thought they were white. A lot of the media thought they were white or that they were Arab. or Middle Eastern, and you often heard them say things like, "Well, these whoever's doing these killings, I mean, whoever doing this, they have to have a high IQ. They have to have an IQ at least 110, 115. These individuals are very intelligent. I'm not trying to, uh, you know, praise these individuals at all, but you have to observe that these are very intelligent individuals who are doing this. But once they started realizing they were black, the language changed to they were evil, vicious, monsters, which they were. But it just was interesting how they just sort of started talking about them differently. You Chief Moose, I believe, had to resign because of issues as far as with like book deals, publishing, and certain things of that nature. It was conflicting with his job as the police chief. He resigned. I remember a movie came out where Charles Dutton was playing him. Later on, I think he went to another state and became a police officer or something again, like an on the beat police officer. And I just, he just disappeared from the spotlight. Uh, but yeah, just because of that situation, I thought I would make a video talking about him. So tell me what you guys think.